people, because I teach at the university. There's one statement I heard from one wise man who said that education changes people's lives. And that is something that it's a short one. It's probably, I don't know, well used. But for me, some years ago was a new one. And it really is like that, because I know how every time I learn something new, it made me better. It changed my perception. It pushed me to some other areas of life. So, and because I teach at the university where we have at the first grade, I don't know, 300 students. So I really try as much as I can, to look every single one of them into eyes and try to inspire them. And trust me, there is no salary, no bonuses, no material incentives that you can receive and that will make you happy as much as when you just get a text message from a student. I'm teaching at the university only 8 or 9 years, so it's not, I don't have like a huge career, but already I'm receiving messages from my fellow students saying thank you so much, this helped me a lot in my entire life, and that's something you really cannot buy. So that's my mission.
That's really, really nice. I mean, we live in a world where I think our industry especially has been, struck by the fact that it's difficult to find new people, it's difficult to inspire young people to join. How do you see this? Do you have the same issues in Serbia, or you have enough young people and the interest is there?
No, sadly, no. I would love to say yes, we have too many talents, but the talent crisis is huge. I think all over the Europe or maybe the world as well, and it's a sad thing. There are many reasons why I believe that we are facing talent crisis, but unless we all start talking, I think, positively about how really nice and interesting our industry is, we can't really expect that the ones we are expecting to join our industry, so young people, we can't expect them to join if we don't show them the passion and the inspiration we feel. Of course, we are in the business, we know the problems, we know the issues, but if we only focus on the problems and issues, then from the outside, our industry doesn't seem quite attractive. And still, for me, it's a beautiful one, to travel to the world, meet so many people, make business, create events, create experiences. That's career, really.
It's a sort of passion I think lacks a lot of times when we are communicating with this. I mean, our industry has been affected by so many things recently, from, of course, to know about. But still, the feeling is that we're really coming back. I mean, there's so many at IMEX, satellite events, and yesterday we were saying it's perhaps overwhelming at times. You feel about that?
Exactly the same. It's really overwhelming. At one point yesterday, so overwhelmed that I needed a break, because with so many talks, connections, and everything, it's quite overwhelming. But at the same time, we should be grateful for. After COVID, I learned at the day before the IMEX started, the DIC event called Revenge Travel. I didn't hear before it, and I don't really like.
You see also the trend that it's something that we've been discussing also, in different debates and talks, and organizers of events are trying to organize events with a very short lead time right now. So, we're talking about something that perhaps next year, if we look at the same, we're 5 years in advance. Tackling as a destination, are you seeing that as a problem? Do you see it as an opportunity? Do you see it is full? Because right now, and people are knocking on the door.
National Convention Bureau, it happens to some of our destinations already. Belgrade is, it's bad. I don't have, I don't know, a well-defined feeling towards it, because I like Eastern Serbia. It's completely, how would I say, not new or not packed with tourists, but has so much things to offer.
Are any of these destinations also at IMEX? Do they promote their product for our?
Yes, we have representatives from Niš at our stand, also Belgrade Tourism Board and Serbia National Tourism Board, and also some hotels and agencies operating in Novi Sad. Fruške Terme, for instance, they just joined the Movenpick.
Now, you've been saying in this conversation, and you just dropped another one in. I have to ask you, there's so much stuff going on in Serbia.
Some brands coming in Serbia, Radisson Red and Radisson Blue that we had in Belgrade but became Radisson Collection. But we are really looking forward for the fast railway between Belgrade and Budapest. That's not sure into detail, but I think it will bring so much also to our industry, because we know that Budapest is a regional hub as well in terms of connectivity and everything. But also I like that it is a train connection, and it's a quite comfortable way of traveling. And we're looking forward to 27 to host the specialized expo. Hopefully we'll know the results in June. This June.
Okay,
so
okay, fingers crossed.
Yes.
That would be a great thing.
We would have to expect a lot of people flying to those destinations. For us, it's a luck that we have so many neighboring countries, and if we expect that 100 countries come to Belgrade to present at the expo, can expect to do business change. In what way, I don't have the answer at this point. I like to play with the AI, but yeah, there are so many things that might be worrying in a sense. So I don't have a.
Let's say the academic sphere more at the time.
Already
Yeah.
we see it. At this point, and in a not very good way, but I think the academic will know how to deal with it. So.
Usually we finish with short questions. So the first one is rakia or water?
Rakia, of course.
Can you explain this a little?
Yes, actually, the talking point at the stand is because the IMEX talking point is human nature. Of rakia in Serbia is UNESCO Intangible Heritage.
Wow.
Sorts of rakia plum on our.
And guys, stay tuned. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Jan?
Edition of myself, we have an extremely honored to have a fantastic guest with us, Annette Gregg, the current CEO of Site. I was at the Apollo Theater this year, where you had that amazing speech, and so I'm just gonna say welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Site.
It is.
Tell us what's going on with Site right now.
You know, it's really been fun to join Site. It's such a passionate community, and these are 2,100 members in 90 countries that are passionate about the power of incentive travel. And the more I get to, and I was on the client side for many years. I planned incentives for corporations, but when you're in the middle of it, put your head up and realize how special these programs are. And the only way I can describe it is that we really have the opportunity to celebrate kind of human achievement. So when you're putting together programs that go to wonderful places like Ljubljana, and you just see kind of people's eyes open and they feel so appreciated for all this hard work they've done throughout the year to qualify. It's just a moment, and so it's just been a joy. It's a joy to work in the sector. I've been in the business event space for a long time, 30 years, but it's fun to be working with a community that is very close-knit and very passionate. So love being in Site.
We all know him. He said that the incentives are aristocracy of tourism. That's what he said, actually.
It is interesting because we all know that a lot of incentives have some next-level experiences. Have the opportunity to go to extremely niche and luxury destinations and experience these things that are really the general public is really not privy to. So it is an opportunity for us to not take that for granted. I think what we're seeing that's interesting now, it is luxury still. It is that they want these, you know, unique experiences that they can't get on their own. You're seeing some interesting trends. We have an incentive travel index that we do every year. And the trends right now, coming out of the pandemic and out of COVID, where there weren't travel programs for at least 2 years, is that you're seeing a lot heavier emphasis on activities that are bringing the teams together. So in incentive design before pandemic, there was a lot more emphasis on free time. You win. Just go do your thing with your spouse and your partner, and we'll see you back here for dinner or not. Well, now the owners and the stakeholders and the leaders are intentionally designing more team-building activities because their teams haven't been together for a long time. So they're using these incentive programs almost as a double duty to create camaraderie again. So I think it's another good opportunity for the DMCs and the whole kind of supply chain to approach these projects more intentionally.
You already answered this, but what would you say is a characteristic of a good incentive?
Tried and true, and have been the kind of the foundational elements of good incentive products and programs, and now what we're seeing in post-pandemic. So I'd say that the kind of standard block building that has been consistent is that people want experiences that they just can't get on their own. So even if you're to a destination, we're seeing that some destination choice trends right now coming out of pandemic are a little bit more safe. Most of our respondents are still kind of choosing those well-known destinations as the first one back. So United States, Caribbean, Mexico, Hawaii, those kind of warm destinations. But then that was like for 23, 24. But as they're booking for 25, they're going a little more exotic. They're getting braver, going to different parts of Europe, for example, Ljubljana. And so they still they go to these destinations, they don't want just what the regular they want. So that's kind of been consistent throughout the years. But is still call for authenticity in the design. So it's not that let's just take an example. It's not that they want to come to this beautiful property in Ljubljana and have a chef come play for them and a cooking demonstration and maybe a team building. They come back and use their own ingredients for the night. So that's different. You see, it's experiential, participatory, and authentic.
It's that I think what you were just describing is actually what destinations are kind of striving toward.
Right.
But it's sometimes difficult to find this balance between, you know, what is the popular thing to do,
right,
and little secret that, you know, one can organize. So position of the local DMCs in the incentive market in terms, in context of the large
question. And I think it goes back to the better we know our audience, the better we can tailor these experiences. So every program designer needs to get as much information as they can about her qualifiers and maybe offer a variety of options, because there are some that just want to go and relax by the pool, and that's okay, or want that spa treatment. But the ones that want to get out of the hotel, that want to be in the authentic part of the city, that's where the DMC is really going to have to open those doors during that program design phase. Because most of these designers, these program designers, don't live in these destinations. They don't know what the authentic offering is on the ground. And the DMC is actually really, they're getting quite savvy at actually creating product, kind of bespoke product offerings. So they might have these meetings with the designers, then they're going to go out to their community, talk to that special restaurant about experience, talk to that special kind of community setting, even about a give back experience or something. And I'll Ljubljana doing that for us. But so the DMCs they're just a piece of this, because they have to, I'd say, with the Tourism Bureau, those are two on-the-ground specialists are heavily partnered to the designer. So a program, we have an incentive program ourselves, and we call it Incentive Summit Europe, and it's going to Ljubljana in
Yes, it is.
July. And I'll just give you a great example, and this was not a setup, I for you guys, but we have 2 afternoon offerings for our attendees, and they're so to your country and to the destination. So there's one that explores the beekeeping enterprise there and how that is economy and giving back to the environment. There's another about homeless outreach and what are the programs homeless and to support them. And I just love all the offerings were so unique, and the different ones that are out in national parks and in the environments. And I just thought the DMC were working with
we've been planning it for a while now, for obvious, but it is because it's DMCs. It's about the lighting. It's about the stage. It's about the beekeepers, and this is something that we as a destination have been developing. I think really big breakthrough happened in 2012 when we had an IMEX challenge, where actually IMEX partners planning, and it's still of legacy, and we all kind of have bringing sight to our destinations. We can actually connect more. I think that's very important.
I love it.
And I would just like to add to what you about coming to Ljubljana first time, right?
First time.
So if you look at we look at the conference, probably the most different environment to Ljubljana possible. It was such an emotional moment, I think. So transparent, and I think Sight is really kind of a leader in this thing. I mean, you're the CEO. How do you keep up?
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, and I think it's it doesn't do us any good to be honest with our members. Came in a meeting right before this, and I think we all have to be honest with ourselves as an industry and as an association. What does the next generation of members need and want? And frankly, it may not even be membership. I don't think that serving the community by just talking about being a member, about how can we solve a problem for you, how can we for you, and if you want absolutely get involved at the chapter level. But I'm much more interested in the global events community and the incentive travel sector of that. What do they need to keep thriving to support you in that? Is my hear from large, and I think when you look at some of the statistics about the into into the workforce. So there are a lot of stats on this, but at least by 2025, 70% of the workforce will be younger than 40 years old. So think about that as a huge preferences and experience preferences. These are not only your new clients, they're also program participants. And if you look at some of the preferences, age range and some of the values, they want authenticity. They want brands and destinations that are consistent and they're walking their talk. So see that the hotel is representing one thing and the community feel committed to that. They want to see alignment. So the authenticity and really live a brand promise, that's going to resonate with the traveler. So I think it's a about how we show up and what we can offer these travelers.
Yeah, we can feel your energy about it. So that probably brings such a great results. There is no fake. You cannot fake that. If I can be totally direct, but let's imagine that guy is so good, the best possible